Neil, your new signing is here. What are your first impressions seeing him out on the pitch?
Well, it's nice to see him out there. It's been sort of a week or so since we've done the deal, and he's come through training absolutely fine.
What do you hope he brings to your group over the next few months?
Just a little bit more quality and a bit of support in there in the midfield area. And he's had a good career so far. He's played in some tough leagues, and he's played for a team that wouldn't have been one of the top teams in Israel, but he's he stood out, and he's been very consistent in his performances there.
Is he one that's for the here and now and potentially for this week, or is he perhaps a longer term?
A bit of both, really. I think he could, we'll have to see what his conditioning is, but he's been playing up until sort of the end of the year there. Probably been training on his own for the last week or so he may need, a week or two of adaptation before we decide to, use him.
What else would you like to do before the window closes?
Well, if we don't do anything else, I'll be happy. We've got a great squad and real quality in it. It's a very difficult window, and we'll see how things go from there.
How much stronger are you coming out the window?
Well, we've got a couple of good players in, and we've sort of streamlined the squad a little bit. Kamala will add a little bit of firepower and pace to the attack, which is what we needed, and Soro will bring a bit of strength to the midfield as well. So at the minute, we're definitely stronger.
Some people asked some questions after the defeat to Rangers at the end of December. What did you make of their result on Sunday?
It's a result that happens. Things will, twist and turn maybe as we go along. We're just concentrating on St Johnstone tomorrow, and looking forward to the game because we've played quite well since the turn of the year.
Does it give the players a lift though when they see in a title race points dropping?
I've not really detected any change really in their emotions, over the last couple of days. So our focus, like I say, is on tomorrow, and it'll be a tough game. Tommy has had a couple of decent results as he always does. Sometimes they get a bad run and then he turns it around into a good run, and he's quite shrewd that way. So we just have to be careful and just concentrate on our own business and keep things nice and calm.
Your experiences of being a title race, both player and manager, in terms of playing Saturday over Sunday, getting that win and putting the pressure on the game the next day, is that a big factor for you?
It doesn't matter either way really. You got to win the games, so ideally you win, and then you just wait and see what the outcome of the next one is. But for me, you just win the games, and hopefully the others drop points around you, and that's it really.
I know you mentioned previous about the talk of a balance or a sort of sway in the momentum being a bit premature. With the fact over the course of conditions of the last 8 years that these players have that mentality of winning the title, will that stand them instead in the next couple of weeks, if not the running?
Oh, you hope so. You hope they have that experience. They've been so consistent, fantastically consistent over the years, in terms of league titles and cup wins as well, cup runs. They've been absolutely amazing. So every year's different. This year's another one, that they've got a challenge on, and they're rising to the challenge as normal.
Is that where the advantage comes from though? You've got players, for instance, Scott Brown, Forrest, McGregor, who know how to win a title.
I think it's brilliant having that. They're brilliant players anyway, first and foremost. But I think it's great that they've been there and done that before.
How much comfort, Neil, do you take from the gap that you've got, or does it matter at all, the 5 points?
I think it's too early, so we've got a raft of games coming up now, midweek, weekend, midweek, weekend. So we just take it as it comes, we're getting players back, Christie's in the squad, Ayer's back in the squad, so that strengthens us as well, which is an obvious bonus.
I was going to ask you about the run, because I think your next 3 are away from home. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, I know everyone says this is always a critical period in the season, but given the run, especially away from home, you've got coming up, is that truer now?
I think all periods are critical, it's just because it's the present one, and there's, the games are coming thick and fast. We've actually got 4 away because we've got a cup game involved in that as well, so yeah, our away form's been decent this season, so hopefully we can maintain that.
I noticed Stephen Gerrard's comments after the Hearts game were quite critical. Do you think Rangers are now starting to understand the pressures that
Kerry, I can't speak for Rangers, so I just can't.
Because you've been through it in terms of the relentlessness and the need to keep winning.
Well, that's been the case for the last, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, with certainly with us anyway, so that doesn't change. So you do feel it sometimes, there's no question of that, and you enjoy the wins, you get relief from the wins, but you enjoy the performances as well.
Just going back to St Johnstone, you said Tommy's a shrewd manager and they always seem to finish at a reasonable league position, but Celtic have been really successful against them over the past few years, having conceded in 8. Why do you think you are always so successful specifically against St Johnstone?
I have no idea, honestly. Maybe their style of play, maybe our style of play. McDermott Park it's wide, the dimensions are quite wide, maybe that suits us, but I can't put a specific reason on why we've played well against them over the last sort of 8 occasions, and that might be enough motivation for Tommy himself, to try and change that.
Tomorrow night, any fresh injury concerns?
We're just waiting to see how Joseph Simunovic is. But apart from that, we're more or less the same. Well, with Ayer and Christie coming back in, Mikey Johnson came through the game fine, so yeah, no real really serious concerns about anybody from the weekend.
And is Christie ready to come straight back into the starting 11 if selected?
If selected, yes.
How's Jeremy Frimpong?
He's seen a specialist today, so we'll know the extent of the injury after that. He's had a scan on it, so hopefully it won't be too bad.
I've seen a couple of reports down south that Premier League clubs are already looking at him. I imagine he's under. I would guess he's not for sale, but it must be a real compliment. A real compliment to you and the player that already is attracting that type of interest.
Well, I think he's been fantastic, and you miss his energy, you miss his speed, you miss his quality on the ball. So the sooner he gets back fit, the better.
Neil, how have you found trying out some different formations recently, and have you been pleased with, in particular, Frimpong's link-up in Chatham when he was used in a diamond on it?
Yeah, they're intelligent players. I enjoyed the game at Kilmarnock as well. I thought we played very well there, in the back three. The diamond, sometimes it just gets a little bit narrow, but with the midfield players we've got, and then it gives you the luxury, if you want to call it that, of getting 2 strikers on the pitch as well. That's always a help to either Griffiths and Hodgson or Klamala now as well. But we don't want to keep chopping and changing just for trying to be clever. We're doing it for the right reasons, and that's to win the games.
With Edouard, there's been a lot of praise on him for his goals, but how important to the team has he been for things like build-up and assists?
Hugely important. I think that's, people talk about his goal tally. I think his all-round game's been a huge improvement as well. So he's in a really good place, and his performance at the weekend was outstanding for the 30 minutes, and thankfully he's come through it unscathed, and obviously he'll be fit for tomorrow.
I know you mentioned there that you would be happy if the transfer window stopped as is, but will you be actively looking to add in the next couple of days?
Well, Nick's working very diligently in the background to see if there's anything out there, but like I said, there's only 4 or 5 days left, and it's a very difficult thing to do in January, but we've done 2 what we think's good bit of business, and if it stops there, then great.
Is there a tendency to try and stop yourself from maybe doing that one last panic buy just because it's the last couple of days in the window, and you sort of get caught up in the motions of the transfer window in that sense?
Sometimes that can happen, but we're pretty sure and pretty calm about things. So, like I say, if there's something available that may catch our eye and is affordable, then we may look at it. But at the minute, it's very quiet.
Expect anyone else to leave, or are you happy with the squad now?
No, I don't think anyone else will be leaving at the minute.
Brendan Rodgers says Philippe Benkovic could go out on loan. Could it be something?
I got asked that at the weekend, but I think we're well covered centre half.
Is it defensive options that you might bring in, or if something happens, say it's not unlikely to happen, but if it did, is there an area of the park that you think needs still strengthening?
No, like I say, I think we've got a pretty strong squad now, but if there's always that bit of quality available, and like I said, the right sort of affordability, then that's something we'll look at.
And Soro, is he not in the squad, did you say, for too early for him to be in it?
It's probably too early for him to be in the squad for tomorrow, yes.
And the potential you see in him? I mean, we've seen players come in and move on for big fees. Wanyama would be an obvious example. Is that the kind of thing you see in him, potentially?
I don't want to predict the future. I just want him to come in, settle. I mean, he's only in the door and we're trying to sell him off already, you know, so...
And that's, I meant about what you see in him, the potential that you see in him.
He's got good potential, yeah. I mean, he reads the game well, he can drive, he can pass the ball, he can break up play, you know, so I'm hoping he brings all those attributes to the team.
A lot of focus on Leo the last few weeks, and you can tell that's kind of calmed down now, it's kind of put to one side.
Yeah, I think that, you know, he spoke to Leah, spoke to Chris, you know, so I think everyone's drawn a line right through it and we move on from it.